All right, we're on Tuesday the 10th. This is a back to our hit Tabata. So again, you're gonna choose between your normal or your advanced timer. We have plank jacks, swings, tabletop, toe taps, and reverse plank hold. So here is where I have called the same exercise two different things. So in Thursday the 5th, I called it single leg drops, and here I called it tabletop toe taps. So I think I'm gonna switch it, because my issue is I don't know the actual name of it, so I try to type something that I think will help me remember what it is, and I think in this instance, I think tabletop toe taps will maybe make me think of it more. So I'll probably go in and change that. I don't think anybody has this yet, so you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But anyways, I'm just saying, if that happens, that's why, because I don't know the real name, so I just make it up, and then I like forget what I made up for the made up name. So anyways, and then reverse plank hold. So plank jacks, or step, or off of a height, swings, tabletop toe taps. So this is the drop. We've done these before. And reverse plank hold. So this you can do technically elbow or high. I just think elbow is like almost too hard. So up like this and hold it. Okay. So like I just said, we already did the tabletop toe taps. So I'm not gonna like talk about that in depth. It's possible that you missed that exercise. That workout, but this is all you're doing. You're just tapping, return to tabletop. This is called tabletop, tap, alternate, tap, alternate, tap. Okay, so plank jacks, you're gonna be in high plank. This, I guess technically you could also do an elbow plank, but I always do it in high plank. You can do it in high plank or you can do it off of a height. So you're gonna be there, and what you're doing is you're basically jumping your legs in and out, in, out, in, out, in. So it's like a jumping jack except in plank position. So with this, all you really need to know is try not to bounce your butt too much or too high. So think about staying pretty in line and just letting your legs go in and out versus jumping or bouncing up and down. It's more of like a straight out, in, and not so much of a bounce, even though your butt's gonna bounce anyway. If you cannot do that or you're too tired, you're gonna just step, middle, step, middle, step, middle, and you can always do it off of a height as well. Out, in, or step, okay? Swings. So this, if you have a kettlebell, is the easiest thing to swing. If you don't, you can use either one dumbbell, you can use two dumbbells, it doesn't really matter. Whatever's comfortable for you to hold. So, swings can be tricky to explain. I'm gonna try to explain it the fastest and best way I can. When you swing, I'll hold the weight, you are doing kind of like a deadlift stance. If none of that means anything to you, that's fine. So you're gonna have your legs decently, like shoulder width about apart, or wider, it doesn't matter, it's up to your preference. And what you're doing when you do swings is you're hinging at the hip. What that means is your body is going forward at the hip, okay? As you do that, your butt is gonna go back to the wall behind you. So your butt is gonna go back and your upper body is gonna hinge down. So you're gonna be like here, then you're gonna stand up and kind of thrust your hips forward. Hinge, thrust, hinge, thrust. So while you're doing it, you want to make sure that that butt is going back and not down, back. When you let your body hinge, that your back is staying straight. So you're going to feel it pull right here. And then when you stand up, you kind of want to thrust your hips forward because you're going to be adding your arms in. When you add your arms in, your arms are going to tuck between your legs like this, and then they're going to come up in front of you. So this is what your swing looks like, okay? So notice I'm not squatting, My butt is up in the air. It's getting pushed back to the wall behind me. And my back is folding, but it's not hunching too far down. It's easier to honestly hold your kettlebell or just hold like, well, I guess I can do it like this. But so if you're finding that you feel like you might be hunching, think about, you can almost like choke up on it instead of like holding it looser, and kind of do like T-Rex arms. Keep it closer to you and go up. If you feel like if you go too low that you're like hunching down, okay? So without the weight, your body is going like this, okay? So at no point am I dropping down. My butt is back to the wall, thrust, back to the wall, thrust. My back is straight, but it comes down, up, down, up. My hands go between my legs, out, between my legs, out, okay? So you wanna be careful that when you go down, you're not hunching, but you also wanna be careful that when you come up, you're not overarching. So your back should come back to about here. It shouldn't come back to here, okay? So that one can be tricky. Watch yourself in the mirror. You can tape it, you can send it to me if you're not sure. But I think the biggest thing that clicks for people is that your butt is going back to the wall, that your butt is not going down. Okay. Tabletop toe taps. So we're gonna talk about that. And reverse plank hold. So reverse plank hold is reverse plank hold. So again, you could do an elbow plank, but I feel like it's difficult because I feel like, number one, my butt is like almost touching the ground. And number two, it's much harder to raise your hips when you're on your elbows than it is if you're on your hands. So you're gonna be on your hands, they're gonna be behind you, you're gonna be on your heels, and you're just gonna raise up. So you're gonna be looking up at the ceiling, your body's gonna be straight in line, you're gonna squeeze your butt, you're gonna lift your hips up, and you're just gonna hold it. So just like this. So you shouldn't be sunken down, shouldn't be doing anything weird. You're gonna lift your hips as high as you can and hold. So this one does get uncomfortable, but it is what it is. So that is your Monday.